monitor. You don't need much space.
Seeking you as a precious jewel, Lord, to give up, I'd be a fool. You are my all in all. Seeking you as a precious jewel, Lord, to give up, I'd be a fool. You are my all in all. Jesus, Lamb of God, worthy is your name. Jesus, Lamb of God, worthy is your name. Jesus, Lamb of God, worthy is your name. Covered by the power of your great love, my debt is paid. Of your great love, your love never fails and never gives up.
It's original design. There's a book called Kingdom Builders, a book that's dedicated to the importance of unity and the importance of collaboration and working together. Please, do not leave this room without that book. Changed my life. And this is my favorite, How to Help Your Pastor. Okay, all right. So don't leave without these books. What I love about this book, How to Help Your Pastor, is that there's one chapter, entire chapter here, that's dedicated to unity. So yeah, I think if you're here, you're a leader. Amen. You don't need a title. I think every believer is a leader. Amen. The scriptures say that we are ambassadors, right? So that means you're a leader already. You're kings and priests. Ding! You're a leader. Right? So don't leave this room without those books, resources. We have some more good news for you towards the end, but I'm not going to speak any further. Without further ado, could I invite the one and only Mike Moore, please, sir. If you could just rise up with me to your feet and give him a loud, loud hand, all the way from Dallas, Texas.
Thank you, brother. Guys, thank you. You can sit down. Keep standing. Get a little more. Just about 5 more minutes of clapping for me, please. Okay. You know, I'm half Italian and half Irish. Okay? So for me to have to hold this is going to be a chore in itself. You got to sit down, bro. You're a big boy, man. We could take this off and eat this for dinner tonight. So, do you have a clip on or no? Because if this is not being recorded, I'm going to put this down. This is being recorded, isn't it? So I have to hold this. Oh, you know how hard this is? It's okay. Thank you for having me. Let's give a bigger hand for the person that makes all this stuff happen, right? All right, Dee, just stand up a second. You stand up a minute. Come on. and her husband. You guys stand up. Now, if Dubai won the World Cup, you wouldn't be clapping like that, would you? Come on, man. Give the guys a hand. If somebody can teach me what cricket's all about, I will pay you 10,000 dirham. Okay? Because I can't. This sport, I do not get this sport. It's like you trying to understand American baseball. It's just, I just don't get it. So if somebody afterwards, give me a 5-minute kind of review on this, okay? South side of Chicago, half Italian, half Irish. My mom is from Italy, and my dad's from Ireland. That's a tough combo. You know, growing up in my home, we'd have friends over to my house, and we would just be normally having dinner, but our voices would be raised like this, and I say, just pass the salt, why are you so angry? People would go, why do you guys hate each other? I go, what do you mean? We're just normal. We're just having a conversation, but we're just emotional people. And I have a woman here that came all the way from Frankfurt just to see me speak. Thank you so much. That is really sweet. Can I at least believe that? I was at a wedding in Chicago. I was the best man. So I'm standing up here, and my friend and his wife want to do personal vows. So the minister does his thing and say, you know, for the rest of your life, you're going to be married, blah, 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 everything's great. So now they're going to give personal, you know, kind of vows to each other. So she goes, honey, I love you with all my heart. I will never leave you. When you come home, I'll have dinner ready for you. I'll be there for you. I'll speak kind to you. And she goes on and on. Beautiful vows. So he goes, wow, that's really cool. So now he says his vows. He goes, okay, honey. I'm not going to work, you know, like till midnight every night. I'm going to make sure I'm home. I'm not going to go out with my friends every night. I'll make sure I'm with you, and I'm going to help you around the house. And I looked at him, I go, dude, what are you saying? You don't vow that. You can do it, but you don't make a promise to your wife you're going to help her around the house. That's crazy. But he goes, I'm going to help her around the house. 6 months after the marriage, they're in a counselor's office. She goes, he doesn't love me. He goes, what do you mean I love you? I love you. You don't love me. I love, yes, you do. You said you'd help me around the house, and you don't. Well, here's what happened. When she was a little girl, and her dad would come home from work, working all day, he would walk in and go to his wife, honey, I don't want you to be the only one that's cooking, setting the table, taking the food, putting it back in the refrigerator, cleaning up, mowing the lawn, doing dishes, doing the laundry. You can't, just because I work doesn't mean you should do all that. I'm going to help you too. So he assisted his wife in everything. He helped her cook, put the date, did the dishes, put them back, put them away, did everything. And so what did this little girl see when her daddy came home and he helped her around the house? He did everything, correct? So when he heard this man say a vow, for the rest of my life, I'm going to help you around the house, that's what she saw. Well, what she didn't know is when he grew up in a home where dad would come home and say, honey, what can I do to help? And she goes, honey, you don't do anything. You just sit down here, I'll get you the newspaper, you can pet the dog, you can play with the cat, but you don't have to do anything. I'll make sure I cook the food, set the table, make sure the dishes are washed, I'll do the laundry, I'll make sure the cars are clean, I'll make sure the lawn, everything's trimmed, the flowers are out. I just want you to sit down because you've worked all day. Please, let me do something, honey. I'll have no part of it. I gotta do something. Fine, take the garbage out. So every night, this little boy saw dad take the garbage out. So when he's standing making a vow to his wife, and he said, I will help you around the house, what did he mean? I'm taking the garbage out, and that's it. What did she hear? My husband's going to do everything around the house with me as a team. So who's right and who's wrong? Who's right and who's wrong? Or are they both right? Right? We say words to each other all the time, right? I'm from Dallas, Texas. I'm Italian and Irish. You guys may be from the Middle East. You have different backgrounds, different parents, different cultures, different everything. So when I say a word to you, you may not get the picture that comes to your mind's eye that I'm trying to communicate to you. Because we have different photographs in our minds, right? So when I say words to you, it's from my background. So is it my responsibility to show you the picture in my mind when I'm communicating to you? Or is it your responsibility to ask me, Mike, what do you mean? Or is it both? I think we're both responsible. So here's what I want to do. We communicate, we see photos in our mind's eye. We see pictures, and we assume this person means something based on what they said, and when it doesn't happen, we blame them when, wait a minute, maybe we need to communicate more. So we're going to talk about one word today, and it's the word value. And we're going to try to see how value, that word, connects with leadership. Because we're all leaders, like he said. Everybody's a leader. And there's three kinds of leaders that we're going to talk about. But I want to give you a story about two leaders in the United States of America. And you may have heard of both of them, maybe not. Who's heard of Mayor Rudy Giuliani from New York? You've heard of him? If you were born and raised in America, any Americans in here? Okay. Do you know where you were on 9/11?
Yes.
Exactly. If you're an American, September 11th, 2001, you knew exactly where you were at. Because the worst attack on American soil, we knew exactly. The city shut down, the country shut down. And Mayor Giuliani was the mayor. 1994 through 2002, mayor in New York City. Now, we have a president that runs the United States, right? Whether you like Donald Trump or not is not important. It's not. He's the president. We respect the office. Don't have to like the person. We have to respect the office. But this is the most determined human being on planet Earth, man. I've never seen a guy do what he's done. I mean, are you kidding me? To hang in there as long as he had, I mean, just come on. Crazy, right? So we have a president that's a president of our 50 states. Each state has a governor. That's like the president of a state. Like I'm from Texas. We have a governor in Texas, governor in Illinois, New York, Florida. And each city has a mayor. Now, mayor's a big job if you're from New York or Chicago or Miami or San Francisco or Los Angeles, right? So he's the mayor of New York. Here's what people don't know about him. I had lunch with him and about 10 other businessmen, had the opportunity in 2004. And here's what I asked him. There was a group of businessmen and women, and Rudy Giuliani wasn't the mayor anymore. And I asked him a question. I said, you know, Mr. Mayor, I have a question for you. There's a book written about you called Hero. I go, wow. So my question is, why are you considered a hero? Just because you were the mayor and a disaster happened in New York, does that make you a hero? That was my question. Nobody said a word. And I went, oh my God, that's the most stupid question you could ask a human being in your life. Pause. No one said nothing. And then he goes, that's a good question. Then everybody looked at me and smiled, like, you know, I'm a good guy now. I was stupid for a minute, now I'm funny, right? And so he goes, that's a good question. He goes, here's why. Here's what people don't know. In 1994, every single month, I would get together with the chief of police, the head of the fire department, the head of hospitals, emergency services, telecommunications, the head of AT&T. I would get with the heads of every industry that affected New York City. We would meet in a hotel, and we would come up with a plan. What do we do if someone jumps out of a building. What do? Plan. What do we do if an aircraft hits a building? Plan. They took every possible thing that could happen in a negative way, and they had a plan. But no one knew about it. Who knew he was meeting? When did they find out? When the disaster occurs. That's when the spotlight was put on whether he prepared or he didn't prepare. And Ground Zero was the communication center that was up and running in 1 hour. Communications were back to normal. Why? Because he planned for 7 years. We would have never known that had a disaster not occurred. Our own lives. We're responsible for our own lives. Bro, what is your name?
I need to go.
What is it? Amol? Cool name. I don't understand it, but it's a cool name. I love it. I love these names. These Indian names blow me away. You Indian?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. You are not responsible for my life. Right? You're not. I'm responsible. I want to blame people when things don't go right with me. I want to blame my parents. I want to blame my boss. I want to blame the weather. I want to blame my fiance. I want to blame my girl. I want to blame somebody because I don't want to be responsible when something that I decide on my own free will doesn't go the way I thought it was supposed to go. So it's not my fault. That wasn't Rudy Giuliani. He took responsibility for potential disaster, and the spotlight was put on, and we saw his preparation. We would never see his preparation had a disaster not occurred, right? And same way with another mayor. Fast forward to 2005. How many remember the hurricane called Katrina? Obviously, more, wow, remember that, right? Bad hurricane. Well, here's what's interesting. New Orleans is kind of, it's like in a bowl. And on one side is this huge lake, Lake Pontchartrain. And on the other side is the Mississippi River. These are big bodies of water. And in the middle is a city. And these are kind of held back, man, by something that was 60, 80 years old. One storm knocks these dams down and the whole city's flooded. The mayor, Ray Nagin, okay? He's in jail right now. Guess what happened when Katrina hit? Disaster, right? All of New Orleans, most moved to Louisiana up, and they came to Dallas and Houston to find homes. We had an influx of millions and millions of people. But why? Because Ray didn't plan. So he blamed the government. He blamed FEMA, which is a branch of government. He blamed the way the dams were, but never took the time to fix it. What do we do if it floods? What if we do it rains too much? What if we do if there's a tornado? And all this stuff happens. What do we do? No plans. When you don't plan, what do you do? Human beings down or up? No. I want to make a point. I don't care who you are, we're going to talk about the value that everybody in here has, and it's the same. But it's what we do with it and how we bring that together as leaders in the community. Whether you're in Dubai, whether you're in Dallas, yeah, but I don't make the money that Tara makes, and he's a rich man, and I wasn't born to parents like that. There's a caste system where I grew up in, and I can't get forward. No. We're responsible for our own lives. I love talking to young people. I was just in Albania, in Tirana. Loved it. Here I'm sitting with college students, 18, 19, 20, and they're fired up. And I like getting fired up because I feel the energy of these young people, right? And you know what? They dreamed. One guy was going to be like Steven Spielberg. That was his goal. I want to do E.T. I'm going to do Star Wars movies like Lucas. He was excited. He dreamed big. All these people had dreamed. I want to be a surgeon. I want to be this. I want to be that. And then I went and spoke to a business, and everybody was 40, 50, and 60. Yeah, we can't do it. We tried that. No, that won't work here. No, that doesn't. We tried that. Oh, the government won't let it happen. We don't make it when we get. Why do we stop dreaming? Who told us to stop dreaming? Man, yeah, but dreams never come true. Yeah, they do. I see it all the time. You've heard of Kentucky Fried Chicken? How many people have heard of Kentucky Fried Chicken? Colonel Sanders, 70 years old, broke. He had nothing. He had no money. He couldn't pay his rent. He started a fried chicken establishment, and he died way, 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 way later. A billionaire with a B in American dollars, because he wouldn't stop dreaming. You missed the best part, bro. You did. Well, I'll start from scratch. So I was at a wedding in Chicago. Right? So, guys, what I want to do is this. I want to talk about the word value. We're going to walk away with a whole different understanding of what that means. And we're going to tie it into leadership. And there's three kinds of leaders. There's positional leaders. There's influential leaders. And there's transformational leaders. And everybody in this room is one of them. Everybody in this room. Every human being on planet Earth is a leader. And I'll explain why. Positional leaders are easy. You got it. You got the position. I'm the boss. You got to do what I say, whether you like it or not. And that's it. I know a lot of people in my world that are positional leaders. They're insecure. They're afraid. They're scared. They're angry. And they want to blame and make their faults about someone else, not about themselves. Those are positional leaders. I don't want to follow them. I have to. My job depends on it. And a guy that's got that position, maybe he grew up in a home where he's never encouraged. Maybe he grew up where he's always pushed to the side, and the coach always said, you'll never make it in life. Or his parents said, you're not good like your brothers are. Or you think you're better than you really are. And maybe he just got negative feedback constantly. And he was criticized, he was put down, or she was put down, and they didn't think they'd ever mount up to anything. But now they got a position, and they can tell other people what to do. And you gotta follow them, or you lose your job. You know, 95% of people that leave companies, they don't leave companies because of the company, they leave companies because of their boss. Do you all know positional leaders? Do you know what I'm talking about? And these same kind of people are the same way in their families. They just want to tell everybody what to do. There's no love behind it, no understanding, no communication, no can we sit down and discuss why do you feel the way you feel. It's the why behind the what that's most important in life, right? It's not what we do. It's why we do what we do. That's what I'm after. Because if you can see the why behind what I do, you go, I get you. I understand now. But if I'm just looking at the what, and the what's different, because our cultures are different, man, I can't get close to you. You're not going to accept me. But if you go, Mike, here's the way I was raised. Here's what I believed. Because belief is huge in what we do in life. And we're going to talk about that later. But positional leadership is the first kind of leadership. Those people have a hard time seeing the value in another human being. Seeing that treasure inside you. And if I can't see it in me, I can't see it in you. If I see it in me, I go, bro, look at this. You know how rewarding that is? Be able to meet another human being I've never met before at a restaurant. I went to a restaurant this afternoon, Meat Company over at the Palace. Yeah. I love meat. I'm a Texan, right? You realize that there's the United States of America as a country and Texas is its own country. Y'all get that? Everything's bigger in Texas. So, but I sit there and I like to have a steak when I prepare and think through things. And this waiter came up to me. I just started a conversation with him. Where are you from, bro? He goes, I'm from Kenya. I go, I love Kenya. Have you ever been there? I go, no, I've read about it. a lot of game reserves there. I can't wait to go. And he started a conversation with me. I got to know the name of his mother and father, how many brothers and sisters he has, why he's in Dubai. He goes, why are you taking an interest in my life? Because you're a human being, and you have so much value, and I just want you to know that. What did this do to this man? I don't know, but we need that in our lives. Positional leaders can't do that. They're focused on themselves. They're focused on what you're going to do for them, not what they're going to do for you. Positional leadership, right? Second kind of leadership is influential leadership. Now, we all influence, whether we want to believe it or not. We all influence people, right? People, how do we do that? People see us from a distance, right? You're at a Starbucks. Is there Starbucks here? There is? I hate their coffee. I'm just do. Yeah, it's just it, right? Come on. It's not good Arabic, am I saying that right? Arabic coffee where you cook it, you put a spoon in it, and the spoon doesn't even move. That's what I'm talking about. Now that's coffee with a date, with an almond in it. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
So influential leaders, people see us from a distance. They watch what we do, they watch what we say, and they watch things between the way we treat our families. We influence people. Mothers, you influence your kids. Kids influence each other in the playground. Moms and dads, they influence each other when they're talking at home. Their influences are killing through their communication. They influence that way. We influence more than we know. In all the travels that I've done, in the people that I've spoken to, and I love to connect with people. There's introverts in the world, there's extroverts, right? There's feelers, and there's thinkers. And there's a combination. Introverted thinkers, introverted feelers, extroverted thinkers, and they're all different. They're not better than the other, they're just different. So when I meet introverted people, sometimes I'm going, don't you like me? You're not talking. I just don't talk, right? So I can't take the way I am and overlay it on another person. So how do I get close to somebody that's not like me? I have to do this. You have your Apple where you play your music on the iPhone, right? And then there's a pause button, and then there's the play button. So what I've learned to do, pause, play. We have to pause ourselves and play someone else. People want to talk about themselves. People want someone to listen to them in life. We're all that way. So we're all influential leaders, but all the discussions I have in different countries, here's what I've learned. There's 3 traits that stand out about influential leadership. And the first one is humility. What do I mean by humility? Woe is me, I'm no good, there's everybody. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Here's what I'm talking about. I'm on a plane coming back from LA going to Dallas, right? And so I'm sitting down, and the guy I'm sitting next to, now come on, this is a plane seat, right? I'm touching arms with a guy, and nobody talks. There should be a rule in life. If you're within 3 inches of another human being, you should at least say, hi, my name's Mike, right? Come on. You're that close. People sit for hours. They could be sitting next to their next future boss, want to give them $1 million raise, but I can't say nothing. Right? So I'm sitting next to this guy, and he's on his laptop. And obviously, I go, hi, Mike. I wish I had it. Can I just clip this on so anyway, he's typing, he goes, nods, keeps going. I said, okay, got something out of him, but didn't even look at me. I introduced myself. My name is Mike. Nice to meet you. Okay. I wait a second, I go, so, you live in LA, you live in Dallas, work Dallas, LA. LA. He keeps going. So I get the point. Mike, he doesn't want to talk to you. Get over yourself. Okay? Doesn't want to talk. Leave the man alone. He's more introverted. He's working on a deal, and it's none of your business. Just leave the guy alone. What is your name? Oh, let's give him a big hand. People are clapping for you. All right, so I'm sitting there. I go, okay, one more question, and I'm done. I got to do one more time. So I look at him. I go, can I ask you a question? He takes and closes his laptop, and he looks at me. He goes, you're going to anyway. God, you gotta be kidding me, man. So, okay, I looked at him. I said, what are you passionate about? And he looked at me and said, are you serious? I said, dead. He goes, okay, butterflies. And I looked at him. I went, you're jacking with me. No human being is passionate about butterflies. He goes, you asked me a question, and I answer you, now you make fun of me? I go, okay, are you serious? He goes, butterfly. I go, go. I'm listening. You got my attention. For 2.5 hours, I learned more about, butterflies, they mean nothing to me. I'm sorry to say, if they die or they don't, I'm not really concerned, right? I mean, they're pretty, right? But whatever. But this guy told me the wingspan meant something, the veins meant something, the color of the wings, the metamorphosis. He was going on and on and on. He had this huge dead butterfly collection. It's one of the biggest in the United States of America. And he goes to all these seminars and he gets to show his butterflies. And I'm going, dude, the subject matter of butterflies makes me want to take a nap. It just does. But your passion is firing me up. It is, dude, you're deep inside me right now. You're passionate about this. And so the guy, at the end of the time, he goes, man, nobody's ever asked me about what I do, what I like. I'm going, dude, it's awesome. I'll never meet another guy that likes butterflies. I guarantee I won't. But I mean, the fact that you're into that, and he was, by the way, I didn't even ask you what you do and what you're interested in. And so I gave him a copy of my book. And I told him, I'm passionate about getting inside people's hearts, not their heads. And I wrote a book called Love God, Hate Church. And what? You hate the body of Christ? No. The institution, the people that control, that put rules and regulations and no love and unforgiveness and judgment ahead of unconditional love and mercy and grace and peace, because that's the only thing that can change the human heart. Not a rule. Rule's not going to do it. I've tried to keep rules. I can't. I just want to break them. If it says, stay off the grass, I'm just walking on it. That makes me want to walk on the grass. Now, if it said, please allow me to grow, I go, oh, okay, I get that. Not a rule. Go ahead and grow, man. I don't want to screw you up, right? Influential leadership starts with humility. The humility I'm talking about is humbling ourselves enough to put ourselves on pause, play someone else, and actually take an interest in another human being. It doesn't matter if they're a janitor. It doesn't matter if it's Sheikh Mohammed. It doesn't matter if it's Donald Trump, if you can get close to the guy. It doesn't matter who it is. That we actually take an interest, and we don't, they're like bigger than life. You know, Tom Cruise. Anybody heard of Tom Cruise? He's a human being. Anybody heard of Michael Jordan, the basketball player? If Michael Jordan was standing up here right now, do you think you would meet Michael Jordan? You would meet a persona. You would meet a person. You take the A off of persona, put it up front. It's a person. That's who we want to meet. Normal human beings living normal lives. Man, I'm glad you're a billionaire, Michael. I am. That's awesome. But can we at least communicate? What do you like to do besides play basketball, which you don't do anymore? But we're afraid to get close to people because we feel smaller than them, because we don't see the value that I want us to understand what we carry around with us and why we carry it around with us. So the first trait of an influential leader is being humble enough to just talk to people and just allow them to see the value they have, irrespective of their resume, their accomplishments, their performance, and all that stuff that we put and prayed out in what they've done, how much money they've made, how good looking they are. I got to get through their educational status. Got to make another step. Their car's in the way, and I got to get over here. Finally, if he's open or she's open, if I can meet the person. But if I want to meet the person, I have to bleed first. They got to see it in you. That's why we have to see what's in us before I can try to uncover in you. Because if I don't, all I'm going to do is compare my resume against you. And if I don't measure up, guess what? We're not friends. You're bigger than me. I can't be your friend. I don't want to walk around you, right? I love guys, especially in America. I don't know what it's like here. That's Dubai, probably the same. But if you're in America and you say, how you doing, bro? What's your name? Stanley? Did I say that right? Stanley. That's a cool name. It's an American name, but I love it. So I go to Stanley. Hey, Stanley, what do you do for a living? Now, what am I really asking Stanley? Stanley, how much money do you make a year? Do you have your W-2 with you that you give to the government? Can I see it? Because I really want to know if you make more money or me or not. Because I want to know where I stack with you. Right? I mean, come on, man. It's the ego of a guy. You know, what do we drive? What do we look like? Are we better than the guy in front of me? And if we put all that to the side and we could actually meet someone, whoa, how rare would that be? How cool would that be? So, number one, humility. Second trait that I see with people, and that's, thank you, bro, is integrity. Well, what do I mean by integrity? It's a nice word. You know, the best definition I heard is this. When what you feel, say, think, believe, and do is all the same. Right? That's pretty, and that's hard to do because we're human. Come on, man. We're not going to be, but you know, some people, they say this, they do this, they believe this, they feel this, and it's all over the map. You know what I'm saying? Especially like what I've learned being over in like South America or especially Africa. How many Africans in here? Which country? Congo? Nigeria. Okay, I understand Nigerian time. You say 9 o'clock, that's anywhere between 9 and 2, right? You just show up. I'm at least at the meeting. Come on, my man. I love it. But right, so my point is integrity. What do I mean by that? So this guy was a president of a company, and he was stepping down, and he had to choose a vice president to take over for him. And so there were 3 people, and they were all sitting in the boardroom, and he was talking to them, and he gave them each a packet of seeds. He said, what I want you to do is go home and plant these and bring them back in a month, and I'll tell you who your president is. He goes, well, that's not, are you kidding me? That's what you got to do. So I went home, plant their seeds. And they come back. About a week in, they're in a coffee room. And this one guy says, what do you got? He goes, man, I think it's a flower. It's hard to say. It's just starting to sprout. And it smells like a flower, but I'm not sure. So he asked the other guy, goes, yeah, I think mine could be a vegetable. I'm not sure. It's kind of early, but at least I'm seeing some stuff come out. He goes, what about you? The last guy goes, I got nothing yet, but I'm doing it. I'm watering. I'm doing what we're supposed to do. You know, it's out in the sunlight. So, you know, they come back a few weeks later. They're talking again. They asked the one guy, dude, definitely a flower. Not sure. It could be a rose, but it is Well, you can smell it in the house. My kids love it. My wife thinks they're for her, but they're not. I'm trying to get a job. You know, and he goes, the other guy, yeah, definitely vegetable. I don't know what kind, but this thing is sprouting. It's looking great. And they look at the other guy. The guy goes, man, I got nothing. So goes home. He goes, honey, what? This is crazy. We screwed it up. I got nothing. He goes, honey, if you got nothing, you got nothing. What are you going to do? You going to go buy a tree and bring it in? So, you know, a month goes by, and they all come into the room. All bring their pots in. One guy's got his little flower thing growing out. Other guy's got, you know, what seems to be some kind of pepper vegetable plant. This guy comes in with an empty pot and lays it down. The president comes in and goes, wow, meet your new president. And he points to the guy with the empty pot. He goes, why him? He goes, guys, all the seeds were dead. They were all dead. And you guys didn't know what to do with that. So you just had to go make something up. This guy was man enough to go, you know what? This is what I got. I come in the way it is. He goes, that's what I'm looking for. Wow. And you know how easy it is? You know what I've found is most people, not all, but most human beings, we lie or we tell half-truths. I do that all the time. I'm a salesman. What do you want to hear? Because I want to get a deal done, right? I mean, we tell half-truths, and we're not 100% honest. I was there, but the reason, you know, we kind of flowered over, right? I mean, listen, what I've noticed is influencers in love just say it the way it is. Hey, this is who I am. This is what I'm like. You may not like my personality, and if I've hurt your feelings, let's talk about it, because that wasn't my intention. What I did maybe isn't why I did what I did, so can we communicate, and you could kind of tell me and maybe help me a little bit. So when a person's got integrity, they're just going to go, look at this I'm sorry that I don't mean to say this, but this is just not what I'm thinking and feeling right now, and I just can't do that. And wow, you have no clue what the outcome of being real is. We don't know the purpose we've hit in our life yet, right? There's a story about back in the late 80s about a war between two nations, not important where. But one of the guys went into the house of the enemy and took an AR-15, which is a very powerful automatic rifle, and shot a guy, hit him in the neck. You're going to die if you get hit in the neck. You're out. Well, he's bleeding out, and he ends up crawling into the street because the guy thought he killed him. Somebody coming by in a car, sees him bleeding out in the street, puts him in the backseat of his car, takes him to the hospital. They take him into the emergency room. They save the guy's life. Doctors come out, and they go, you saved this young man's life. He goes, wow, great. This is the late 80s. No cell phones, no internet, right? You had dial phones, you know, stuff like that. Pigeons carrying stuff. But nothing. No, Facebook, nothing. And so he leaves. A couple hours later, the mother and father, the person that was operating on, come in and go, my God, our son, where's the young man? But we don't know. Did you get a phone number? Did you get an address? He goes, man, we're saving your son. We're not worried about who brought him in. So they owned grocery stores. So they leave and they put poster boards up in their grocery stores in the town saying, well, the person that saved our boy, please come forward. We want to give you a reward. We want to hug you. We want to do something for you. Nothing happens. Year goes by. Woman comes in, reads this and goes, that was my son. And she goes up and looks at the woman. She goes, did you write this? She goes, yes. She goes, you don't remember me. She goes, no, ma'am, I'm sorry. She goes, 20 years ago, my husband and I were in your store, and you overheard a conversation we were having. We had 4 children and no money, and we were going to abort our baby. I was pregnant. And you said, with no judgment, you can do that. You're free to do that. But you You don't know what's inside you, who's inside you, the purpose for his life. And that boy was the boy that saved her son. Whoa. The purpose, the integrity that we walk in. Do you have any idea why you're alive? Have you hit your purpose yet? You don't know. You may change all of Africa, bro. Maybe it's you in 10 years. Why not? God's going to use somebody to do it. Why not you? Somebody's going to make $10 million in here or $100 million. Why not you? Why does it have to be someone else? The dreams you have, somebody's doing it right now. Why not you? When we just walk out in integrity, let God be the one to determine the outcome. Because he's better than I am to determine the outcome in my life. That doesn't mean I don't do what I'm doing. That doesn't mean I don't come to Dubai and do what I'm doing here, because I love this. That doesn't mean I don't get on a plane and fly all over the world. I got to do the passion inside me. But the outcome, I can't be invested in the outcome, because I don't know what the outcome's going to be. But he does, and I'm invested in him because I'm invested in you. And when we do that, we have no clue. We don't know. Your future may be 25 years from now in all this today's preparation for something that's going to just be so unbelievable you never even can dream it or imagine it. That's how we need to walk in life, just with integrity. Influential leaders, humility, integrity, and here's what else I see. They give. What does that mean? They open their wallet up? No, that's a small part. 3 areas of giving. Number 1, words. We give our words. We don't hold back, right? We just don't hold back. Tara, how long have I known you, bro? A couple months. He's opened doors for me in Dubai that I couldn't walk through. I couldn't. Tara, without you, I'm not doing what I'm doing here, bro. And I'm grateful to you, and I'm grateful to your wife, and I'm thankful that you consider me part of your family, and I'm grateful for our friendship, and I'm grateful that it won't stop. I mean, guys, they're words. Why don't we just give our word? Why do we have to wait until someone dies before we stand up and go, man, you know what? I knew this brother. We had some good times together. He was the most loving man on the planet. I've never met a guy like this. Well, probably never meet a guy like this. And I really love this guy. Wish he was alive again. Yet when he was alive, I said nothing about him. Right? Come on, man. Let's eulogize the living, not the dead. I'm serious, right? We've got stuff to say about each other that we can't hold back. Why are we holding back? Because we don't, that value thing that I want to get to. Because when that value, you see that, you can't help yourself but encourage people with your words. You can't. And you can't criticize. What are you going to criticize somebody for? Because you don't like the way they drive? Why are we critical? Why are we bitter and angry and critical? Do you know what anger and bitterness is? It's me taking a glass of poison, hoping you'll die. That's all anger and bitterness is. It ain't hurting you. It's hurting me. I'm getting sick over it, right? So man, that's the first part of giving is with our words. The second part's with our time. Just giving time to people. Spending time with somebody. Can I help you with that, bro? Do you need, can I volunteer my time? Can I help you with your housework or what you're doing? Give people your time. You know, I meet attorneys and I meet, accountants in Dallas, and they go, man, I don't have, I go, yeah, you can give. Give your time. Find a poor family that cannot afford an accountant and do their taxes for them. How hard is that? Well, I got to get paid. No, you don't. You're getting paid. You want to give something away? Go give your time. Give your talent away. Just give it away. You're an attorney? Do some pro bono work, free work for an hour a week, whatever. We all have ways. All of us. It's different for us because I don't know what you do. But we can give our time. We can give our words. And guess what? That's free. That's free. You don't have to do, there's no cost. And the last one, give your money if someone needs it. Doesn't have to be a lot. $5 or 5 dirham or a dirham, whatever. You know what I mean? It's just whatever. It's part of giving. It's not all giving, but time is money. So if a person makes $1 a week, that's $52 a year, and another person makes $1 million a week, that's $52 million a year, and the guy that makes $1 a week gives $5 away, he's given 5 weeks of his life away. The man that makes $1 million a week gives $500,000 away, and he's given 3 days away. Who's given more? The person that gave 5 weeks. Money is time. Let's look at it that way, right? Those are the 3 things that define influential leadership. But there's a third type of leader, and that's what all of us want to become. We're all influencers. We're all influencers. We are. We can influence negatively or positively. We're influencing people daily. The way we look at people, a smile. Do you know what I've noticed? I'm staying at the Oberoi Hotel. And I'm learning the culture a little bit. There's certain things I can't do. I was at school, at Lansing, had me speak at school. I'm a friendly person, right? Nobody's saying anything, man. I'm like, God. So at the end, they wanted a photo. So the people came up, and the schoolmaster came up, and she was a female, and she had a burqa. So we're standing there, so I right here, smiling for the camera. Cameraman goes, and I'm looking, going, and then I looked over, and I put my arm, I said, was I not? She goes, no. I go, I am so sorry, wasn't in here. I didn't, she goes, I know, but I go, okay, great. So here, I took a photo like this. But my point is, we're learning. We gotta learn how people want to be served, how people want to be loved. Right. We can't love people the way we want to love them. We have to love them the way they want to be loved. That's right. I'm an extrovert. Gee, big surprise, right? Right? So I want to be loved a certain way, but some people go, no, I'm not a touchy-feely guy, Mike. I go, okay, fine. I just, can I at least shake your hand or wave? But what I found out is I'm at the Oberoi Hotel, and people just walking, the staff smiles all the time. They get paid for that, maybe. I don't know. But the guests just walk, and, I'll just do this. Smile, and all of a sudden, they smile back. They're looking for someone to make the first move. They're working. I get on an elevator. Nobody's talking. I walk down, I go, hi, where are you from? He goes, oh, I live in India, and I'm here, and I had a white shirt on, and he had, what do you call the what is it? The Kurta? Kandura. Beautiful. I honestly want one of those. They were beautiful. It was just amazing. He had a cool head thing, and I had a white T-shirt on. And I go, I tried to get what you have, but they gave me this. And the guy laughed. My point, we just got to make the first move. What's the worst thing that can happen? They say nothing. Is that about you? Of course not, right? 3 things. We got humility, integrity, and giving. Influential leadership, we all are that. We don't want to be position leaders. We want to be influencers. Then there's that third, and that's transformational leaders. Gandhi, Mother Teresa, Jesus of Nazareth, Princess Diana. People that changed your belief system. People that cared more about you than themselves. They didn't care. They just did. Gandhi didn't care about himself. He cared about his people. He cared about freedom. Mother Teresa, she just cared about the poor. She didn't care about herself. She died internally. She said, my life isn't my own. Jesus of Nazareth, same way. His teachings, they killed him. He died, gave his life. No, we want to change what we believe and why we believe what we believe. That eventually determines what we do and why we do it. It's a belief. Listen, if I believed, if my system, everybody has a system in here. It's a belief system. It's a software program inside you. It's made up of your life experiences. It's made up of what you believe about God. It's made up of what you've learned from your mom and dad. It's made up of what you've heard from in school, what you read in the newspapers, the internet, what you listen to with your friends. You have a system of belief on the inside, and it guides your life, right? That's what we're after. Changing what we believe to produce the behavior that we want to produce. If I believed the way ISIS believed, I'd be killing people too. I would, if I had their belief system. Thank God I don't. But their belief system, they have a system that guides them, right? And so that's what we're after. And no matter, let me share one story. Lance, I shared this in your school. This is, I think, really pins it for us. There's this couple in the UK, and they're on a train, and there's this old lady coming, and she's got a baby wrapped in old newspaper, and she's begging. And this UK couple feel compassion, so they reach in to her wallet, take a 50-pound note out, and get ready to give it to her. And the conductor comes over, grabs his hand, pulls it back, and says, "Stop doing that. I want to help the person." "No, you don't understand. That lady's not a beggar. She's a thief. She's a fake. The baby's rented, and this is what she does for a living. She's trying to get your money." So he takes the money, puts it back in his wallet, and he does nothing. Now let's walk through that. When she first came, what did he believe? She was homeless, had a baby, she needed money. What feeling did that belief produce? Compassion, love, mercy, and what behavior came out of that feeling? He reached into his wallet and he pulled out a 50-pound note, right? Then what happened? Guy grabs his hand, pulls it away. What happened? What did he believe? "You're stopping me from helping this lady," right? Had feelings of anger. And then she said, "Well, it's rented." Then he felt shame. Puts the thing back into his wallet. What changed? His belief. His belief changed. Hey, changing your behavior without changing what you believe, that's religion, man. That's garbage. You change what you believe, then your behavior will change, and it's permanent. Let me tell you something. The Christian church does not own Jesus Christ. He's not owned by a special interest lobby group in Washington, D.C. He stands by himself, and he offers himself to the world. That's how awesome he is. The world is different. Mine's in Dallas. Every day I leave my house, first stop I make, I hate it, but I stop at Starbucks because I got to have an espresso. I got a triple espresso every morning on the way to the office, right? So I'm standing in line. Who would have thought you'd stand in line to get a piece of coffee? I mean, it just doesn't make sense, right? So I'm standing in line waiting for coffee, and you meet people as you go in and out, same time, every hour, every day, same place. And this guy, I'm standing behind this guy, and he is a weightlifter, right? So he is huge. Thanks, bro. Just get a little warm here. This guy is huge. His arms are like my legs, right? His back could block the sun. The guy's humongous. And he's got a little tiny head on this big body. And it shouldn't fit. His head's so small, but he's got this big frame. So I'm thinking, this guy has an IQ, an intelligent quotient of about 5. He probably has 10 words in his vocabulary, and 3 of them are duh, right? I'm judging. I don't know this guy, but obviously he's not that smart, and all he does is lift weights at the gym and drink protein and eat eggs. That's my thinking of this guy. Never met him, don't know him, from Adam. So he's standing there. I'm thinking he's going to get up to the counter. Here's what he's going to do. Lady, I'm going to sweat. Put the coffee beans in my hand. And I'm thinking this guy's like, he's scaring me. Here's what he does. He's getting ready to go, and he hips to the top. He goes, I would like a decaf no foam latte, please, with a little umbrella, because I want to show somebody. You mind doing that? I go, that voice can't come out of that body. There's no way you can talk that way. There's no way. You got to have a lower voice than that. I don't know this man. I'm judging him. I don't even know him. And that's our public world. It's image management. We think we know what other people are like, but we don't. We look at the way people dress. We look at what they drive. We look at all the stuff that gives us clues, like their watches and all that stuff, and we make a judgment. And 99% of the time, we're wrong. So I got to know this guy. He has a PhD in nutrition. He's a Rhodes Scholar. What does that mean? In the United States, the highest scholarship you can get is an educational scholarship, and it's called a Rhodes Scholarship. Straight A's, PhD program, University of Texas in nutrition. Wow, was I wrong? Most articulate, listen, my vocabulary couldn't stand up to his. But I thought I knew this guy. That's our public world. We take our leadership, whether it's positional, whether it's influential, or transformational, we take it into these 4 worlds that we all live in. A public world and a professional world. Now, our professional world is our places of business. Or if you're a student, it's your school, correct? And we know people at a factual level when we do business with them. We know, that they like cricket, they don't like cricket, they hate the Dallas Cowboys or they like the Dallas Cowboys. We know, what their kids' names are, maybe. We know, whether or not they drink beer after work or not. We know if they're nice people or not. We know facts about people in our professional space. But we know people in our personal world at a feeling level, right? Your best friends, your spouse, your grandparents, your parents, they know what buttons to push, get you all hacked off. Like every time you do that, that makes me crazy, right? We just know what to do with those people, right? We know people at a feeling level. But the 4th world, we live in by ourselves. And it's our private world. And that is where your value is established. It's not established in your public world by 50 people coming up and go, wow, I love your car. Well, that's great, thanks. It's not in your professional world when you make $10 million a week. Do I want that? Yes, bring it on. But that's not where your value is established. It's not established in your personal world. And I hope everybody in here has an amazing family. But when your kids do something wrong, that doesn't affect you. You stand there with them. They do great. Oh, now I feel better. Your value is not established in any of those worlds. It's established alone when you're by yourself, inside, when you know the value that God Himself put inside you by the fact that you breathe air. You breathe. That makes you valuable. If that's not true, then if Tiger Woods, who's almost $1 billion athlete, stands up here and shows us all the golf tournaments he wins, he's valuable. He's a valuable guy, because look at what Wall Street says about him in New York, and all the advertising and all the money he makes, and Nike and all that stuff. So at 2 years old, did Tiger Woods didn't do any of those accomplishments? Did he have value? Ask it. No. Ask his mother. Yeah, he had value. Human beings. It's not what we do, it's who we are that gives us our value. And when God, and let me tell you the God I'm talking about, because I want to be clear for myself. The God I'm talking about sent his son to planet Earth. Historical fact that Jesus Christ of Nazareth walked on planet Earth. To deny that historical fact is to deny all of history, because there's more manuscripts supporting the evidence that Jesus of Nazareth walked on planet Earth than any other piece of literature ever written by humanity since the beginning of time. So to deny Christ walked on the planet is to deny all of history. My God sent his son. He was buried. He was resurrected. He was seen by over 500 people historically after his resurrection, and he's alive today. That's the God I'm talking about. And when I can help people, help them with what they believe, not about religion. I'm not interested in religion. People ask me, Mike, what are you passionate about? I said, let me tell you what I'm not passionate about. Getting up in the morning and going out into Dallas, Texas, or where I go, and judging people for their behavior. I am not passionate about that. I'm passionate about getting up and seeing how much I am loved by my Father in heaven, that I'm able to step outside of myself and love that person in front of me, no matter what his response is. That gets me excited to live life. People don't have to agree with what I believe. You don't have to agree. That's okay. But I want to share my heart. If you don't want me to, guess what? I won't. But you're going to want to hear what I say, because I'm going to love you so much. You're going to go, why are you the way you are? And I just say it's the value that God himself has placed inside me when he sent his son to take that value that he put in me at birth and make that alive again, and put his spirit in me so I'm free. I am free to look at other people and go, you know what? I'm going to pause me and I'm going to play you, because you're important. And if I don't think you are, that's on me. That's not on you. Does that make sense? Michelangelo would sit in a studio in front of a block of marble before he would sculpt. And he would sit there for weeks, and other people would go by and shop and go, Michelangelo, why do you sit in front of this marble and you do nothing? He goes, well, that's easy. Most sculptors take what they see up here, and they take the image in their brain, and then they go put it in the marble, and there's your statue. He goes, I don't do that. What I do is sit until I can see what's entrapped on the inside, what's in jail inside that block of marble, what's trying to get out that's inside that marble. And when I see it, all I got to do is chip around until I free it. And that's the same way with our life. When we see the value that we carry, you'll chip around whatever you need to chip around to let that value come out, and you'll help people see that same Michelangelo inside them. But you can't do it till you see it yourself. Does that make sense? Wow, guys, this is life-changing.
That's right.
So, we get time for one more story, we done? We got time for one more story? Yeah? Buddy of mine takes his son to school, and it's show and tell. And so the little boy, 6 years old, takes dad in. Dad's got to go, this is what my daddy does for a living. So he's a jeweler. He comes in, he's got 2 gifts. All the kids sitting around, he takes out a square diamond. Blue diamond, that's perfect, flawless. 4 carats, okay? And he's got it in a little cellophane bag. So he pulls the thing out, and he passes it around. He goes, now listen, kids, this is a diamond. It's worth 400,000 American dollars per carat. That's 1.6 million American dollars he's carrying around in his pocket. Are you kidding me? In his pocket. And he pulls it out, and he goes, if anybody thinks this is a vitamin and swallows it, you're coming home with me. Because I'm getting it back somehow, right? So he passes this thing around, and they all look at it and go, whatever. It's a piece of glass to a 6-year-old. They care less. And he puts it back in his pocket. Then he gets his second gift. It's a 6-week-old puppy dog. A puppy dog. And he takes this thing and he passes it around. Oh my God, the kids are grabbing the legs. Each kid's got a leg. The puppy's sprawled out, trying to save his life. And they're rubbing their face in the fur, and he grabs the puppy to save the thing. And he takes it. And all the kids are looking at the puppy. He's got the puppy. He's got the diamond. He goes, okay, you get to choose which one you want. Come on. All the kids are going, I want the puppy dog. Mr. Noble, please, we want the puppy. The puppy, the puppy, the puppy, the puppy, the puppy. Why? Because they value the puppy. $1.6 million diamond. A $30 dog. The kids valued the puppy. If we did it here, you would not take the puppy. I don't care how much of an animal lover you are. You could buy millions of puppies with that little diamond, right? Well, wait. Who determined the value of the product? The 6-year-olds. So if the world was made up of 6-year-olds, our currency would be puppy dogs. It wouldn't be Durham or dollars. Yeah, Lanson, I want to buy a new Maserati. That's going to be 22 puppies and a goat. Okay, that's what you're going to pay for that thing, man, right? I mean, come on, right? But who put the value on the diamond? Adults. What's the value of this book? Whatever people are going to pay for it. What's the value of water? What's the value of this? What's the value of the paper, the microphone, our shirts, our clothes, the carpet, the wood, the rooms? Who puts value on all that? We do. Listen, everything you see with your eyes, we put the value on it. We do. Human beings. Well, who puts the value on us? Who values us? Who determines our value? Do you? Do you? Who determines our value? Come on, who determines? You determine my value? You can't. You don't have the power, bro. But why do I give it to you? Why do I make sure I look better than you? Why do I make sure my car's nicer than you? I'm not down. Get a nice car, buy big homes, buy beautiful. I'm telling you, get the best if you can. But if you're using it to determine the value, you're missing something. Because our value cannot be determined. We cannot value each other. If we're valued by the one, and I know that, then I can help you see that value. I ain't got to worry about me no more, man. You know how hard it is trying to outdo people? Oh my goodness, it just takes too much energy out, man. I gotta get another car, it's gotta be newer, it's gotta be shinier, I gotta have a bigger house, I gotta have nicer floors, better furniture, bigger TV. It's tiring. But the value, it's already established, can't be changed, but it can be uncovered. And that's what we're out to do, just to uncover it, right? Everybody, thank you very much for your time, for listening. Thank you, Terry, the whole bit. So, Terry said we should take 6 more hours and do question and answer. No, just, what time is it? Just curious. 9:15. Let's do some question and answer.
God will not make you into that situation. Mike has to say I'll do 2 more. This one is happening.